Hello, this is a Capstone II video presentation over leadership and reflection and the abilities that I gathered over the several courses on the organizational leadership path. I can tell you now in the beginning, I wasn't a leader whatsoever. I did 9 years of just coming to work, getting my job done as best as I can, going home. I never really thought of myself as a leader, and I never aspired to be anything other than just a general worker with a good attitude. Now, what I did learn is that leadership is a key function in any organization and used to achieve vision and goals through the assistance of human capital, right? We need chiefs and we need Indians, which is true, but to quote the Peter Parker principle, with great power also comes great responsibility. Followers of a good leader must willingly invest their time and effort towards the organizational vision. Leadership is defined as process of influencing individuals to work on what needs to be done willingly. Again, leadership is an attempt to influence others through clear communications towards the attainment of goals or the leader's vision. At the end of this presentation, I will describe the leader I am now after the organizational leadership campaign and disclose my leadership plans going forward. Right now, having gone through the leadership course, I have witnessed changes in my personal leadership beliefs, opinions, and approaches. I will go through who I was as a leader at the beginning of each applied major course, such as leadership theory, data driven decision making, behavior ethics, and leadership, issues in organizational leadership, leading change, and the capstone. And also what I've learned when completing each of these courses, starting with leadership theory. Leadership comes with theories. Theories that explain how people become leaders. This includes, among others, the great man theory, trait theory, contingency theory, behavioral theory, and situational leadership theory. As I started this course, I believed in the great man theory, which suggests that leaders are born with inherent characteristics such as intelligence, charisma, confidence, and social skills. Having gone through this course, I learned that the other theories of leadership are appreciated and appreciated the trait theory, which goes further than just the man theory and suggests that leaders can be made through learning traits and attributes to become a great leader. Now I'm more flexible. And I appreciate that leadership is not only reserved for specific individuals, but that anyone can be a great leader if you put your mind to it. Data driven decision making. It's also important that leaders use information to make informed decisions using data in accounting, economics, statistics, or even finance. I have personally been a quantitative person with little interest in crunching numbers. The little quantitative data I used to make decisions was whether it was economically sensible, not would it make sense statistically. I paid very little attention to financial aspects of the decision. This course coached me to appreciate the importance of all said fields in making decisions. Now I appreciate the impact that data driven decisions make on product demand, services, or even why the decision was made in the first place. When it comes to monetary value, every data decision is done for a specific reason. A specific reason you may not have noticed without digging into the details. I tell my kids all the time there's a reason why there's more gray and black cars, or why when you go to the grocery store there's a certain Cheeto or name brand on the level where you can see rather than the bottom. It's all about that big data decision. Ethics has become a huge social, worldwide phenomenon here lately, and it's part of today's industry, and it suggests that businesses should operate in a way that benefits themselves as much as they benefit all their stakeholders. The behavior of leaders in organizations should ensure that employees and also operate ethically both internally and externally. Before this class, I was inclined to operate the business in a way that benefits basically operationally, or to cater to the bottom line, disregarding the stakeholders or outside organizations ethical approach to anything. However, I learned that as a leader, being ethical comes with its benefits for the organization, such as enhancing goodwill in the market. Also helps attract investors who may invest in the business, which increases the capacity of production and ultimately the profitability of the organization. I now understand that companies looking ethically good externally promotes investor interest and internal profitability. Issues in organizational leadership. Organizations have their process that should be analyzed from time to time. This can only be done with sufficient skills and knowledge to successfully deal with planning, organization, and controlling workplace activities. Previously, I believed that the functions of planning, organization, and controlling are detached from each other and operate within silos of the management process of the organization. I now have learned that these functions make up a continuous cycle of management process. More importantly, leadership plays a critical role in each of these management functions. The planning aspect in the organization has to be done with leadership traits that help strategic planners formulate objectives that motivate their teams. An organizational aspect is also expected to be done in a manner that enables and empowers the employees. More importantly, to control, you must be able to process and measure it against preset goals. There must also be a leadership aspect that allows for motivating towards the team members who may have not yet achieved their goals. They should be encouraged in ways to improve their performance in a manner that does not demoralize them, rather push them to do better in the goals given to them. Leading changes. This course ushered us into the appreciation of organizational change. Before, I was that person who did not like change and tried to avoid it. Organizational change here refers to transition from one state to another to enable the organization to meet its vision and goals. I downplayed change, and for various reasons, which included fear of the unknown. I was also afraid to lose some of the known benefits that I was already enjoying and used to. However, this course enlightened me with the fact that change is consistent, and without it, the organization cannot grow, but will have high chances of failure, since the environment that it operates is constantly changing. Following this lesson, I now believe that as a leader, I should always look out for the changes that will be taking place outside of the org or company and take bold steps to adapt before it's too late. A leader, a good leader, should share his or her vision of change with the rest of the organization and explain why it's necessary to adapt when the winds of change are blowing. Capstone 1 and 2. The capstone put everything I learned together and made me utilize all I learned, such as how to research, analyze, and evaluate organization using like a SWOT analysis and or data-driven decision making. It also helped distinguish effective leadership traits, behaviors, and styles. I can now take these effective leadership styles and know how to apply them in contingency and or situational leadership situations. It summarized everything in a good form and made the course more comprehensive by making you add details to what you've already learned. After everything was said and done and the courses were complete, I now describe my leadership style. And today I don't really consider myself a leader in the traditional sense. I do consider myself a leader in training though. I am now a better listener, more engaged with my peers, in and outside my current position. I'm more honest with myself and considerate to the people. I am now generally interested in people's thoughts, experiences, and I want to change my own personal beliefs and biases. I am less afraid of change and look for an optimistic approach to the future of my current organization or company. This program taught me that to worry often gives a small thing a big shadow. In other words, I now look at the big picture. As a leader, or a leader in training, where do I go from here? This leadership course has made me understand that all leaders are not necessarily born with talent, and that people are capable of learning how to become great leaders and be successful at it. That reminds me of a story of Abraham Lincoln, where he had publicly criticized one of his peers. Although he may have been right, that peer took it offensively, and it tarnished his ego. And what happened is that person challenged him to a duel, a fight to the death, basically. That never happened. The point I'm trying to make with that story is that Lincoln may have already had leadership traits, the personality, knowledge, etc., and was considered a great leader. But he understood the importance of evolving his leadership techniques and becoming better suited and effective leader from it. I also learned the importance of supplementing my comfortable qualitative data that I'm used to with quantitative data using statistics and finance to make critical decisions. Even more important is the issues of ethics and leadership. There is a need to ensure that organizations are operating ethically, internally and externally, which promotes the organization's goodwill, global network capabilities, and social profitability. I will continue my leadership journey by appreciating the importance of organizational change as it is necessary function to become macro aware and adaptable. Now, after everything I've learned about leadership, I now understand that failure to adapt is failure. You must think outside of the box, listen, and understand where other people are coming from before shifting your vision forward to success. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.